Homebrew Wednesday, everyone. I'm pretty jazzed right now because it was announced recently that I took third place in the Sjporr Challenge World Finals. So that's really cool. That's quite an honor. I was just thrilled to be in the finals for the U.S. and ended up taking first in the U.S. this year. So which I did in 2013. So a repeat. That's not in a row, but that's still pretty amazing because there's some pretty great brewers out there. I've still got some on tap. This was my bottle. Wasn't fancy. I didn't want anyone to know who it was, so that it could be as anonymous as possible. So I didn't do any artwork or anything. And believe it or not, I've still got some of it on tap right here. So for those guys that got highly carbonated versions, I just want you to see this is low carb. It's very intentionally low carbonation because a lot of, well, one, it's low ABV, it should be, but two, a lot of times in the travel, you end up between the shaking up and air pressure when they go on planes, it ruins the beers. And I really believe, and I was having the discussion with Josh Hoover, who took second place, and really believe that the bottle caps on top, that when they're capped, sometimes they actually, with air pressure, may be like pushing air out and pulling air in, which can create like some oxidation and do some funky things to the carbonation, because sometimes we get beers that are like foamers when they shouldn't be, like some of mine were for some of you. And I noticed that Josh seemed to have less complaints about his beers having those issues. Well, what did we do different? Josh took electrical tape and wrapped it around his cap really good, and I don't do that, generally speaking. So we're thinking that maybe his suffered a little bit less in terms of how that all worked out, in terms of the air pressure and everything, that maybe that prevented some of the air sucking in and out, some of the pressure type things. And so we're going to be doing an experiment in the coming weeks, and SJ is going to be doing some shipments, I believe with Grant Baker is how we're going to try to work this out, where we're going to try a few things. These are kind of the goals, but one would be like, what if you waxed the top of your bottle? So if we sent two, like let's say of one style of beer, like maybe two IPAs, because IPAs really suffer, the hops suffer a lot, it seems like to me anyway, on international travel. So what if you send one just capped regular, and then you send one where it's been waxed on top? See if there's a difference. And do the same thing with another style of beer. We want to do the same thing with some beers coming from New Zealand to the US. Try it both ways. So look forward to that experiment. SJ will probably be posting that. But I think it's going to make a difference. And I think it's going to improve the quality of beers as they get shipped around from person to person. Because even within the US, I've seen some of that. But anyway, look forward to that. Maybe experiment on that on your own. And cheers to you all. And thanks again. I'm looking forward to seeing what Brewcraft USA does with these kits and things. The whole thing's just kind of a hoot, you know? And I especially want to say congratulations to Manuel Roman Vicus, who took first place, and to Josh Hoover. Josh, when we were on the West Coast and I got to try his beer, he was my #1 pick. He was my top beer as we moved on. And then as I got the beers from UK and Europe and the beers from Australia, New Zealand, actually Manuel's was my top pick out of those. So I don't know, that doesn't say anything special about me, but they were just that good of beers. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. They were great beers. And so it was very exciting to see them go on and do as well as they did. So cheers to you gentlemen, and cheers to everyone else that was in the finals or in the top of their own country hub type groups. It's been a fun year. Wait and see what we've got in store for you next year. And now I'm going to switch over to a recent clip with Chris and I. We had a beer sent to us from Josh Hoover that we got to try. So I'm going to share that with you. Clement's Homebrew.
Coming at you.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everyone.
Yes, happy Homebrew Wednesday.
So, yeah, I need to get brewing. You're right. You're thinking, where's the brew video? I need to get brewing, and I know what I want to do. I just got to get to it, and I've been busy. But hey, we're going to do a homebrew review.
Well, of course.
And we've got one from Manbear Pig, 11
2-2.
33
4-4.
55. Good old Josh. And here it is. It's his barley wine. It's his second version. And it's what, 12.1%? Is that right?
12.1%. It's the version 2.0, and it is a recycled wort double mash. Double bash.
So my assumption is he mashed in, and he got the wort off that, and then he took that same wort and put it on top of another fresh batch of
grains.
That's right. Which means you're not going to get as much efficiency, but it was a way for him to get his octane up, and he managed to get it up to 12.1, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I was looking at that percentage. I was like, ooh, that sounds tasty.
I plan to do something very similar on the Braumeister, So, yeah, that's something I do plan to do in the near future. But I've got a few other things I kind of want to do first. I really want to do a New England style IPA next. The bottom I know was done off of a keg, but that's just so I can swirl. Wow, okay, I didn't think it was going to have a head, but it did slowly form. So take a look at this. I kept telling him he needed to age this longer, but he says it's ready, so I'll take his word for it. So, all right, well, it's murky brown. It's the right color for barley wine.
12.1%. That's going to be pretty thick.
Now, this just came in the mail yesterday. I couldn't wait. So Christian got to come over. And
I immediately came over the next day. I was like, oh, it's in the mail.
So it's been chilled. It's got a nice nose already. Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind when I get it, besides just a barley wine scent in general, is big like caramel, toffee, and raisins. That's what I get.
Yeah, I kind of get the scent of a brown ale coming off of it. So a little bit darker, mixed to it like maybe like a nuttiness to it.
But it's, to me, the smell already suggests almost creamy, chewy. It smells like it's a little bit more thick, it like has some substance to it just from the nose.
Yeah, so the creamy is what kind of maybe lends to that brown ale for me.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit of prune as well now.
Yeah, now you're getting a little bit more of those sweeter fruits.
Yeah, so like dried fruits, raisins, prunes. I'm sure there's some other stuff on there, but I definitely get like a light brown sugar. I get caramel, I get like toffee, but more on the toffee caramel side than the brown sugar.
You get a hint of the hoppiness, the resin coming out of there.
Yeah.
Maybe Centennial hops is what I'm getting. I can't really.
I'm not sure. I
can't really sniff my nose out on that one.
I'm not going to say for sure, but I'm ready to dive in.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers, Josh. That's impressive.
That's fun.
That is damn impressive, I gotta say. I like hitting the mouthfeel first. It is on the low end of a full mouthfeel or the high end of a medium, right? But now it could change it because it's pretty cold right now. I mean, it came straight out of the fridge, so it's a pretty cold temp for barley wine. But what do you think on the flavor?
So here's the funny thing: you lay off a little bit of the hops. And this is going to be a straight up English barley wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Flavor is there for English. It's all there. This is going to be maybe, if you want to call it an American barley wine, you're going to have to throw in more hops, get a little bit more bitterness in there. But this is excellent. Like I said from before, I'm kind of getting the brown ale notes in there, which is fine with me with a barley wine that kind of lends towards the English. And it's delicious. Like, you get some toffee, a little bit of nuttiness.
Yeah, for me, this is not an American barley wine at all. Not even remotely close. This is Christian nailed. This is totally an English barley wine, which is just fine by me.
Which has a little bit extra bitterness though, but the sweetness, the caramel there, it's like all
great
caramelized.
Caramel. A really good caramel.
Yeah, definitely the toffee.
Yeah, there's still toffee in there. Both are there. I'm going to back off the brown sugar. It's all about caramel and toffee on there. But there is a bitterness. It's a fairly good bitterness, which Josh digs on that, so I get that. And but when I first started drinking it, of the dark fruits, the prune now was the more dominant. But I am picking up the raisin as well, and now it's more balanced between the two.
I mean, I think maybe what you didn't consider is because of the double mash and the high alcohol, and how you're going to have so much sweetness because you get a little bit of that prune in there, a little bit of breadiness comes in, maybe like a pudding, like an English pudding. You need to put more hops in to balance that, because right now it's actually at a pretty good balance of hops to
I think so.
to malt ratio.
I think so.
For a spectacular English barley wine.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think you could back off of the hops, the boil hops, just a tad, and this is a freaking beautiful English barley wine.
Yeah, fantastic. When did
If
you
you want
get
to
so
American,
good
talk to
brewing?
me. He's put a lot of study in this last year. I know he has. And for those that don't know, he is also in the world finals for the Sjporr Challenge, and I suspect he's going to do very well. With
Yeah,
this beer.
the Red X malts, if I'm correct, fantastic.
Yeah.
IPA that he created.
But he
with
did that with coffee and things. It was just a very unique recipe, and I think he's going to do super well. He was second in the U.S., but he's going to beat me in the Worlds. I'm certain of that. Wow, though, this is a beauty. This is congratulations to you, man. You did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I hope you've stashed some of these away or holding on, because this is going to get better and
For
better.
some reason, I think he probably did it because he loves his beer. I remember when he tried stashing beer one time for the competition, he's like, had to get under there and sneak into him.
Yeah, he hid stuff at his parents' house and still had to go over and sneak out of their house to get it. So, all right. Well, we're going to continue to enjoy this, and congrats to Josh. This is one of the better homebrew barley wines I've had. I think this is really, really good. And I've had good ones sent to me from Larry 22 and SJ.
Really?
SJ and Larry made one together.
SJ made a good beer?
Yeah.
Huh.
Happens.
Interesting.
You know, nuts find squirrel on occasion.
Good for you.
But Barry Wasser from the Brewed Palate had two versions of barley wines when I was in Philly that were kick-ass good. So I have to say, this is competing with his. It's a little more bitter. His is more on the sweet edge, which you know that's my thing. That was really good. Barry made a great one, but I don't know. Larry, you got competition. I think Josh just beat your barley wine. I hate to tell you that, but yeah, I think so.
You know what you need, Josh? A barrel for aging.
Yeah.
That's the next investment.
Yeah.
That'll fit in your apartment quite nice, right?
Yeah. Oops, sorry, Michelle.
Oops. It just got a little bit more crowded. We're gonna have to get rid of one of the dogs. It's taking up too much room.
No, the dog can sleep on top of the barrel.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
good.
true. The dog will sleep on the
No
barrel.
worries. All right. Well, anyway. One fabulous beer. Thank you, sir. You all have a great Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Hopefully the next time I come up with a Homebrew Wednesday, it's going to be because I'm brewing a New England style IPA. And then I'm actually thinking, I've kind of nixed, I was thinking of a barley wine, but I can't compete with this. So I'm now thinking, and I can't compete with the last one I had, homebrew one, which was from Sjporr, but I'm still thinking I want to make next a Belgian ale, like a strong Belgian ale after the English IPA. I'm
I
thinking,
have to do a lot of research because there's some good competition out there right now.
there's help. There's always help out there to guide me along. Good friends. All right, Happy Homebrew Wednesday. We'll catch y'all later.
See you guys.